The foods I will share with you that you should avoid isn't the typical foods that are on the list that you have heard from gurus, fitness influencers, and other coaches. This will be different. It's not going to be the carbs. It's not going to be the sugars. It's not going to be the fats. It won't be red meats, and it won't be processed foods. I will share with you the foods that you should avoid that has helped me and helped hundreds of my clients be able to lose weight and transform their lifestyle for good. It's key that you understand that this will be personalized to you. When you make generalizations, it could be leaving out your personal needs. So there won't be any generalizations made here in this video. I'm Lee Agbohlah with Ultimate Performance. In this video, I will share the foods you need to avoid to be able to crush your weight loss goals and keep it off for good. So be sure to like and subscribe. Now, as I stated, the foods I would tell you to avoid isn't what you are typically used to hearing. I won't take out a whole food group. I will share exactly why, and this will help you personalize it for yourself. So let's start off with the first thing you should avoid is foods that cause digestive issues for you. Now, digestive issues, like I said, I'm not going to make a generalization. Typically, the foods that are talked about causing digestive issues, it can single out something that may not be the case for you. So gluten is a big one that has been talked about, but I mean, if you aren't insensitive to gluten, that's not going to be a really issue for you. Now, the foods that I will say that you need to avoid are the foods, like I said, simple as that. What causes you digestive issues? Now, different foods cause different people digestive issues. I remember a client I had, as she aged, she could no longer eat foods that had seeds in them. It would cause her issues, cause digestive problems. So she had to avoid those foods that had seeds in them. Now, that may not be the case for you. I don't have any issue with that, but things do change as we do age and other things. So that's things that I'm talking about right now, factor into where you're at. For myself, I know if I have too much dairy, that will cause me digestive issues. And that's something I look to avoid, is having too much dairy. And that's like, usually for me, it's mostly cheese. If I have too much things that are like too cheesy, it may not cause issues that day, but the next day, I definitely will be feeling it. And I make sure that I don't have things that are going to have, too many cheeses, especially things that are very cheesy, and I avoid that because I know that can cause me issues and not make me feel good. So you really have to realize what are the things that cause you issues. Now, I know for some people, these might be things that you do enjoy and that you like, but think about it this way. If it's causing too much damage, is it really worth it? Right? Is it really worth it for you to put yourself in those positions? Because if these certain foods are causing digestive issues, it will have a toll on you where now you're not focusing on what you really should be within your diet. And this is making changes. And when I talk about diet, don't think about just temporary changes to lose the weight. You have to always remember the point is not only to lose it, but to keep it off for good. That's what I do as a transformation coach. That's the reason I don't say I'm a weight loss coach, because I'm a transformation coach. I'm trying to build lifestyle habits that's going to lead to you living the healthy lifestyle you dream about. So it's important that you focus on those things and not just about losing the weight. So foods that cause digestive issues, I highly recommend that you start to either reduce it or find the middle ground that can work for you, or completely just remove it from your diet. Because if it's causing issues, it's not the right thing to do. As I mentioned, I can still have different dairy items, but I know if I have too much of it, especially with cheeses, it will cause some issues for me. So you have to figure out what may be causing those digestive issues for yourself. And secondly, you want to avoid foods that are the trigger foods. Now, trigger foods are foods that cause you to overeat where you have no control. I do talk about there are no good or bad foods, so I don't believe in foods being good or bad, but you do have to understand the context of it. Because if certain foods are causing you to overeat where you're not having control, just like we know certain things in our life, if we engage into it, we lose control and we try to make sure we avoid it because we don't want to be put in those circumstances or be put in that environment, right? So you want to do that within your diet as well, with understanding certain foods that are trigger foods. Now, you can maybe put this back into your diet when you're not going on a weight loss goal like you are right now. So I'll use myself for example. Trigger foods for me are hot Cheetos. Now, hot Cheetos is my favorite snack, but I have no control when I eat it. I can eat a whole bag, like a normal size bag. I could eat a whole normal size bag. You know, even if I get a party size bag, I can eat that in 2 or 3 days. No joke, because it's a trigger food. So when I'm in my phase of leaning out, which is the first part of the year that I've been doing, I will not have hot Cheetos at all during that period of time, because I know if I'm trying to stick and be consistent with my weight loss, if I eat that bag of hot Cheetos, that can shoot my whole goals away for that week. And I don't want that to happen. So you have to understand certain foods that are the trigger foods that you can't control. Yes, in that circumstance, it's going to be on your betterment to not have those be there, because if you can't control, you can't control it. I do think you can experiment in trying to really be more conscious. Being conscious means just be more aware of. So trying to do different things that can maybe help out. When you're looking at your servings, of actually understand what is a serving. So if you eat straight from the bag of chips, you're going to be more likely to overeat, or cookies or ice cream or like that. But if you actually create the serving sizes that's supposed to be, and you try to do it that way, you may be able to actually control it, and it may not be a true trigger food for you. So you do have to try to experiment with things. If it's certain foods, like I just mentioned, I talked about a party size or a big bag of hot Cheetos. Well, maybe if I get the snack size one and that's all I had there, right? I probably would be more likely not to have the issues I would have, right? Because it's a very small size of it. So there's certain things you can do, like ice cream, for example, get the smallest size of the ice cream. With cookies, same thing. Not getting a whole bag of cookies, but getting just a normal serving size of it. Those are things that you can work within yourself to be able to get to the weight loss and then really controlling after that. And like I said, as you get to certain points when you're right past your plateaus that you've had and you reach your weight loss goals, you can put some of these foods back, because it's not like you're really focused on another weight loss, but you have to be aware of what phase you are when you're putting these certain foods in. So trigger foods are things that will help you if you're avoiding those on your weight loss journey. And the last part I want to talk about within foods you should avoid are foods that you just don't like, foods that you don't hate. I never put into my clients' nutritional plan foods that they don't like, foods that they hate. That's one of the first things I do within assessing the situation for my clients. In my initial talks with them and we're having conversations, I try to figure out right away, what are the foods you just don't hate, so I'm aware of it, so that I'm putting a point to them to let them know they don't have to have it. Because certain people just don't like certain foods. And I know a big one is fish. I love fish for myself as far as tilapia. I don't eat all types of fish. There's certain fish I don't like as well, but tilapia is a staple in my diet, and I love eating tilapia, and it's great for me because high in protein, low in fat. So even though fish we know as a food, we can say it is we like to talk about a power food, or food that is going to really fuel your body correctly. But at the same time, if you don't like it at all and you're trying to eat it, you can force yourself to eat it for a certain period of time, but then eventually you won't eat that anymore. So it may have helped you lose weight, but what happens after you lose weight? That's why more than 90% of people after successful weight loss transformation will gain more weight than they originally lost, because they're doing things that they can't continue to do. It has to be sustainable. So using an example like fish, like some of the clients I've worked with and they don't like fish at all, and you're trying to force somebody to eat that, you're gonna help them in that short term hit their weight loss goals, but what happens after that? Remember, don't focus on just the weight loss, focus on the lifestyle goals. These are things that are gonna help you make a true transformation. The reason most don't make a true transformation is that reason you're not focusing on things that are good habits and things that are sustainable. So certain foods that you just don't like, even though it can be quote unquote healthy or a food that is very valuable as far as what nutrients it can give you, a nutrient-dense food, as we like to talk about. There are certain foods like that, but if you don't like it, then it's not a good thing to put into it because it's going to be a problem. Now, if you're just a completely picky eater or you don't eat anything, haven't really had a rare case to ever work with a client like that, but in that case, you may have to figure out what you do like and try certain things, but usually that's not the case. You probably have other foods that you know that you can eat that are gonna fit within your fit goals and help you be able to lose the weight. Now put those type of foods in it and that will help you more. So I highly recommend that you understand the foods you like. Yes, you can try different things, of course. Maybe you might not have had the best recipe before, and there's certain styles of cooking that you may like more than the ones you've had. So you have to kind of figure that out as well to see what worked for you. But if you're trying to just force yourself to do something and you're not really focusing on things that are going to help you going forward, that can continue to help get you results. That's why I like to say the term diet is really just what you eat. It's not the short-term, short-sighted, weight loss goals that we have put into our style to really think that we can do that, but we're not understanding lifestyle is something that we do over time that we can continue to do. So you really want to make sure you are avoiding foods that you just do not like, that doesn't work for you. Don't have it. There's millions of different things that you can put within your meals and help yourself. And you just have to realize that. Don't try to force it. I see too often where people buy different nutritional plans or meal plans, and it's not really customized to that person. So they have foods that they don't like, and they're like, "Oh, I got really great results with this because I ate this and I didn't like it, but it worked really well for me to lose weight." Well, if that's the case, what's going to happen after? You're just going to be, like I said, a statistic. Remember, more than 90% of people after successful weight loss transformation gains more weight than they originally lost. So let's make sure that you are really personalizing. Fit it around you, not the other way around. So just to recap, make sure you are avoiding the foods that just aren't going to work for you. And it's not because of, like I said, the typical list. These are the things that should you avoid because of what we talked about. In the first one, foods that cause you digestive issues. We don't want to have those foods within what we're doing. Foods that are going to cause you to overeat where you have no control. These are trigger foods. And lastly, we just talk about foods you just hate. Why try to force yourself to do it when it's not sustainable? Get rid of that. Let me know what you got from this video. Put in the comments here of what have you done within your journey that you tried that didn't work for you. Was this helpful for you? Will you put this into action within your weight loss journey? Or even if you don't agree with me, please let me know below. And as always, make sure you watch the next video and don't forget to like and subscribe.